In this video, we are going to see how to integrate a sample application with Metis to do prevention, to capture all the SQL queries and the interaction with the database and assess its quality. There are two things that we need to take into account when integrating an application with Metis. First, the application needs to send OpenTelemetry spans to Metis OpenTelemetry Collector. Those spans can be generated automatically, manually. They can be generated with help of libraries or frameworks, or you can construct them manually. What I'm doing in this application is I'm going to use an auto-instrumentation mechanism from OpenTelemetry that instruments the application automatically with no code changes at all. What we see on the screen is a sample application code in which we expose one API that basically goes to the database and extracts titles based on some average rating. What we need to do now is we need to start an OpenTelemetry collector from Metis to start capturing the telemetry spans. The way I do it is I trigger a Docker container for which I specify the Metis API key of my project and the connection string to the database that is running locally. When I press enter, you can see that the Docker image is being downloaded because it's not available locally yet. And now the Docker is running currently. What we now need to do is we need to start this application and enable auto-instrumentation. The way I do it is I have a shell script that triggers typical npm run start or whatever way of starting your application, but also specifies, and this is specific to Node application, that I'd like to use these two particular libraries to enable the instrumentation, and I'd like to send the telemetry spans to this particular endpoint. So if I now go and run the application, you can see that it's installing the packages, and now it's starting the application with help of auto-instrumentation. Let's give it a sec to successfully run, initialize the database, run all the schema migrations. And now what I can do is I can use my sample application to basically call the endpoint. You can see that I triggered this endpoint and it returned some data. And now if I go to Metis and refresh the page, we should see the interaction with the database. And you can see the OpenTelemetry captured the interaction. It captured the queries executed behind the scenes. And when I go here and I pick the span with the select statement, I can see this is exactly the query that I used. We can then visualize the query, see all the statistics of the query if needed, and finally, we can get all the automated insights showing us how this query worked and whether it was fast enough. So this is, in short, what you need to do in order to integrate your application with Metis. You need to start the OpenTelemetry collector locally, and you need to instrument your application to send OpenTelemetry traces to the OpenTelemetry collector provided by Metis. Thank you for watching.